wholesale shuffle in the point standings. Needless to say, the championship pressure is on. The Vegas brouhaha began when series point leader Damon Bradshaw collided with his bitter rival Jeff "Chicken" Matasevich as they battled for the lead in a qualifying heat. Bradshaw crashed, though both eventually made it to the main event, and trust me, you will have the opportunity to see this again. But first we go to the main event itself. It began with good starts for Team Honda riders Jeff Stanton and Jean-Michel Bayle, second and third in the standings, just a point apart. As Suzuki's number 10, Larry Ward, took the hole shot, Stanton moved immediately to challenge him. Bayle and Mike Kudrowski raced for third as Jeff stuck to his line and eventually pulled ahead of Ward, who faded to fifth. In this roller coaster season, Team Honda has come from way behind to challenge for the championship. And as Bayle slipped past Ward, the red bikes were first and second. And not long after that, second became first. Defending series champ Bayle put an uncharacteristically aggressive block pass on his teammate Stanton and took a lead that he never surrendered. But in the late laps, the battle for third became the issue. Guess who? Jeff Matasevich leading Damon Bradshaw again. And here's another Bradshaw move that they'll be talking about for years. He blasts Matasevich, takes himself out in the process. They finished 7th and 9th respectively. Damon was a lap down when Bayle and Stanton turned for the checkered flag, giving Honda its 4th 1-2 sweep in the last 6 races. With a lot of controversy still to come, some of it involving the winners, JMB celebrated.
Thank you. It was a very nice race. I got a good start. I was in the top 5, and I make a good move on Jeff, and I take the lead. And so it was, I got a little bit pressure from him, but I was riding pretty fast, so it was okay.
Well, if you thought that was a madcap main event, you should have seen the scramble after the race to file all the protests. First in line was Matasevich, outraged by Bradshaw's kamikaze move. Given their early tangle in the heat race, there was a lot of talk about whether Bradshaw took Matasevich out intentionally.
Jumped the berm and jumped the berm, struck him up.
Jeff had no doubt about that and went looking for the referee.
Yeah, I want something done about it. I think it's not right. We tangled in the qualifier, and he went down, but that was racing, and you're going to crash racing, but a deliberate takeout, it's not necessary. I don't know if he was out there thinking it was going to be a payback from the qualifier or whatever, but, it was just pretty stupid.
Damon, meanwhile, attributed the move to difficulty in passing and the pressure that he felt to get around Matasevich before the Honda-mounted title rivals got away.
Well, when the tracks are the way they are, you have to try things like I did. If I wouldn't have felt like I could have won the race, I might not have tried to take that chance. I was a little bit faster through that section than Chicken was, so I tried to go on the inside. I knew there was going to be some banging going on, but, the pass just didn't work for me. It's one of those things, and I had to take the chance. Like I said, if I didn't feel like I could have won, I would have stayed there and waited for his mistake, but I didn't have time. I needed to get behind those guys and start figuring out those lines, and because I need to win races.
Two rather different views of the same incident. AMA officials listened to both sides, reviewed the ESPN videotape, and then pondered the really tough question. Did Bradshaw intentionally take Matasevich out?
These are always difficult ones to try to decide. Did he do it intentionally? Surely he didn't mean to take himself out. He did send a message, though, that we read loud and clear, and we're gonna take some action.
Well, the AMA did take action. The race referee fined him $500. The home office added another $1,000 to Damon's tab. And while $1,500 is chump change to a kid making several $100,000 a year, Jansen also added a stern warning. Future violations will result in disqualification and loss of championship points, and that would hit Bradshaw where it hurts. As a matter of fact, points were very much in the minds of Damon's managers after the crash that dropped him from first to third in the standings. Damon's boss was counting the cash for a protest of his own against the first and second place Hondas.
We believe the bikes to be illegal and not to meet the AMA rules, and the only way to really check it out is to file the protest and let the AMA do the measuring and see how it works out.
The winning bikes had already been impounded. Swing arms and frames were measured and found legal. The Honda manager saw the equipment protest as sour grapes.
Well, I think it's we're in a situation where Honda wasn't very competitive in the beginning of the year, and now we end up you know, getting back in the points chase and getting the lead, and I think everybody's getting a little tense. And I just think it's an attempt from Yamaha trying to take a stab at Honda to see if there is anything in question. I don't really think there's any. Well, from our side, we don't have anything to hide. We race production motorcycles. We abide by the rules, and we're abiding by the AMA request to tear the bikes down and let them question the parts.
It seems obvious the protest was designed to strip winner Bale and runner-up Stanton of points, though McCarty said he really didn't know what would happen if the protests were upheld.
I'm not really sure. I would imagine that, you know, there would be disqualification if there was the parts were found to be illegal. You know, I'm not really sure. I don't know that anything like this has happened where they've found it, but I guess in the dirt track they've set precedents when the rules aren't followed that there was a disqualification and the rider is eligible to keep the prize money, but the points go away.
Well, that, of course, is exactly what happened in dirt track in 1987. Bubba Schobert's Syracuse mile-winning Honda weighed in too light after the race, and Bubba was DQ'd, lost the points, and ultimately the championship. Now, given the potential impact of this decision, the AMA did not settle for a measurement in the field to determine legality of the Honda hardware. Those bikes were disassembled, frames and swing arms hauled back to Ohio, checked on a surface plate against the production bikes. That test confirmed the field measurements. The bikes are legal, and the Honda riders were granted their points. Thus, Bale now leads by 2 points over Stanton, while Bradshaw falls 6 out of the lead, 4 out of second. For what it's worth, if Damon had just stayed in fourth behind Matasevich, he'd be tied with Bale for the lead. Accompanying all that supercross craziness in Vegas, the annual NMA Mini-Cycle Nationals. We'll have a report in just a few minutes. Also ahead, the Pro Stock Motorcycle Shootout at the NHRA Southern Nationals in Georgia. And